I had something completely different planned for today, but a former colleague of mine contacted me and she mentioned she was struggling with a particular issue, which all of us who had worked at this facility at one point or another were struggling. And I decided to turn this into a clip. My name is Dr. David Orman. Should have introduced that. And this is welcome to another wellness shot for the week of the 17th of August. So, a couple of months back, the clinic that I was working in abruptly closed, and quite a number of us were owed substantial amounts of money, five digits worth. And it's unlikely any of us are going to get paid because the owner basically defrauded everyone. And there are some people that had to move back to their country of origin. There are some people who had to uh, their power was cut off. Others who had to move, and it caused a massive amount of pain, a massive amount of struggle, but only on the one side, not for the person who created it, ironically. And as you would could imagine, well imagine, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of anger, and there's also a lot of fear. And so I thought, well, no sense avoiding this. Let's go ahead and address the issue. When a person betrays you or anything along those lines, it's very difficult to deal with. There's no question about it. And the idea of forgiveness is for comes to the front, but it's easier said than done. It's as if our heart has been scarred and our soul has been rattled. At some point, you peel back the layers, and at the very, very core of our being, yours, mine, there are 8 billion people on the planet, every single person could say the same thing. When you peel the layers away, there is perfection. Does that mean we're perfect? Yes and no. No, well, I just mentioned a clear example of how we're not. But at the very core, the essence of our being very much is perfect. For those who believe in, there's something like 93% of the population believes in a higher power. Well, a higher power created us, and perfection can only create perfection. So at some level, we are in fact perfect. At the human level, well, that's another story. And if you think about it as layers, and the human part of us is on top, and that's the part of us that gets angry, that gets frustrated, that feels hurt, betrayed, etc. But when you peel the layers away, you get to a core level, and that level doesn't need to forgive anyone because it never held a problem, an issue against them. It's just purity, pure love, pure harmony, whatever you wish to call it. It's just pure. And so when you can find that and live from that perfection, it's so much easier than trying to forgive someone. At least that's been my experience. So you can work hard and work hard and work hard and forgive somebody, and then something comes up and you realize, oh, well, there's so many untold layers to forgiveness. It takes a very long time to get to a point where you're indifferent or accepting of what occurred. And sometimes there are individuals and situations that you just can't do it. And that's okay. And that really is okay. But if you flip gears and say, you know what, in the quiet moment, in my meditative moments, in my prayer moments, in my quiet moments, I'm going to find the perfection that exists within me. And when I do, I'm going to live from that perfection. And I'm telling you, when you feel it, and it may last a second, it may last the rest of your life. When you feel it, you never forget it. And when you feel it, that's all you want. And one of the ways that I've had moments moments where I have experienced that is through extensive qigong training. So I will Sunday nights, almost every Sunday night, I will go out my back porch and do anywhere from 2 to 4 hours worth of qigong. And the most effective qigong that I have found, although I love the movements and the repetitive movements, and my what I have found the most effective is what's called static qigong or postural qigong, where you take a particular posture and you just hold it. So I will typically hold the posture for a minute, rest, go on to the next one. And I never counted them, but there are about 30 of them. And one in particular I found to be extraordinarily effective. I'm going to show you at different angles. It's quite simple. Where the left or one hand is in front and one hand is behind, and it's as if uh, it's as if you're pressing a thin layer of glass. So it looks like this, and your eyes are uh, looking at the very tips of the index fingers. And what this particular posture does from a physical standpoint, it helps with breathing, it helps with immunity, it helps develop the upper portion of the body, and it also helps to a lesser degree with digestion. But from an other physical standpoint, it helps you be very, very, very focused. And in the process of being very focused, you have a tendency to find things that have been looking for you, specifically ideas or thoughts. And one of the things that oh, really? That kind of experience popped in my head last night. So with this experience going on, it's put a different a strain on a number of things in my life. And I have been looking to fix them. What can I do to fix it? What can I do to make it better? What can I do to repair it? And I have this image of uh, uh, chasing a raccoon and putting a band-aid on it. So in my backyard, we have one of these nature preserve things and a ton of animals, and raccoons are, we get anywhere from one to sometimes eight a night, although lately we haven't gotten any. Uh, but they're really entertaining, fun, and lovable creatures. Always treat them with kindness. In any event, they have a tendency to scurry around, and I had this mental image of trying to put a Band-Aid on one of them, which is next to impossible. And that was the feeling of fixing. You put something here, you put something here. Another image could be a dam, a wall where you're holding back the water, and all of a sudden a hole comes here, and you try to plug it, and then you plug it, and you plug it, and next thing you know, the wall collapses. In the silence and in the focus, the word just popped, or the phrase popped in my head. Stop fixing, start creating. And all of a sudden, I literally just froze and thought, that's so obvious, and I missed it. Yeah, create. What is it that I want to create now? I have time, which I didn't have before. I have opportunities, which I always had. What do I want to create? And when I focus on the act of creation, and I'll mention a couple of different ways you can help with creation in a bit. When you focus on the act of creation, I don't have to forgive anyone because it doesn't matter. I'm not holding on to anything. I'm not holding on to anger. I'm not holding on to resentment or whatever the case may be. There's just such a relief and a release of everything because creation is so exciting. What do I want to build? What do I want to experience? What do I want to do? What course can I take? What course can I create? Questions, answers, just there's a flood of ideas coming in, and there isn't any time nor desire for any type of forgiveness, because and I believe that's where that core level is that I mentioned before, that level of perfection, so to speak. And it may or may not be perfection. That may not be the ideal word. I think it is, but you may find a different word, and that's okay. But when you get that feeling of switching from wanting to fix, wanting to do, and just be in that creation mode. That's when so many great things come to you. And best of all, as I mentioned, you don't have to worry about being or having a skill that you may not have developed, such as forgiveness. Some of us are good in certain areas and not so good in other areas. The not so good in other areas, that's okay. Leave them, let them be. Go to creation mode. And a couple of ways to get in creation mode. There is a point in the back of the head called Do 23. And I mentioned this before. I'm sorry, Do 16. I mentioned this before. Then there's a pathway that goes right to the middle of the eyebrow and back. If you imagine breathing from the back where the hard skull, just after the hard skull becomes a soft tissue area, and again, about the size of a nickel, and breathe into this point is called yin tong, and then back. Front is creativity, and back is clarity. And if you just do that a number of times, ideas find you. It's almost as if all that gripping and tightness, being in a vice, just falls off. You can almost hear the metal sound of the vices falling off or the gripping falling off. And then, as I mentioned, there are a couple of standing qigong postures. This I found to be the best. And what I do is I'll pick one side and soften the knees. So your legs are going to get a workout. Your legs are going to get a workout, which is great. And then go to the other side. And so a minute, take a 30-second break, and then a minute. And a minute may be too much. You may want to start with 15, 20 seconds, or it doesn't matter what you start with. Just start with something and keep your focus through here as if you're looking out through eternity. And what that does is cause the pineal gland to be stimulated. And the pineal gland is often called the seat of the soul. And so, again, I think you connect with the higher portion, a higher part, or divinity, or the angels, or whatever metaphor works for you. And they do their thing, so we don't have to. The other thing that can help is so where the clavicle comes, and there's what's called there's a notch here. And if you drop down about an inch right in the center line, this is where the gland called the thymus gland is. And the thymus gland is one of the least talked about, least understood glands in the entire endocrine system. Its primary function, according to Western medicine, is to assist with immunity. But if you tap it, I mean, literally just tap it where your voice sounds kind of weird. I had a teacher and he was not big in explanation, but he was big in do it, test it, tell me what you think. And when you tap it or when you feel like you're lifting it just a little bit, a centimeter, it changes your whole perspective on things. And that's when he used to say that's when the magic and miracles happen. Well, that's when things begin to change because your posture changes subtly, your breathing changes subtly, and that's when you open up to different viewpoints, to different ideas, and to the gifts that have been waiting for you. And then last but not least, after you do the breathing, after you do the positional qigong or the postural qigong, after you do the tapping, there's a final postural qigong where it looks like you're just holding a heavy sack of something. And this is the receiving position. And so all the gifts that are waiting for you, all of the blessings, all of the skills that you have that you don't know that you have, all the people that want to be in your life that will help you get in the receiving mode. People get criticized. Oh, you're selfish. Nonsense. Life is a balance, a giving and a receiving. And in my experience, most people are really good at giving, not so good at receiving. This is the posture, and again from a side, it just looks like you're catching something with your knees bent. And again, you get wobbly, but you get in this receiving mode and just memorize what it feels like to receive things. And it could be a brand new car, new flooring. You want to start a new building, a new business, and you're looking for a building, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. No judgment. Just be willing, able, and in a position to receive it. Well, this was much different than what I thought it was going to be. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had any questions, please let me know. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I will see you next week. Bye bye.